Dr. King continued to spread his message of peace, culminating on August 28, 1963, when more than 250,000 people marched to the Lincoln Memorial to rally for civil rights.
When I participated in the March to Washington, my wife and I came down on a school bus. It was a real rough ride. But to see so many people coming down in all types of vehicles, waving and showing a sense of camaraderie, to see the masses located there at the Washington Monument, there was an electricity that made me feel America like I never felt it before. There was a mixture of every color that you can see in a mosaic. There were Jews and Christians and Catholics and Protestants. And there was a feeling that we've known each other for years. And the silence when Dr. Martin Luther King started to speak.
I went and lay down on the cold marble of the Lincoln Memorial to take a nap. It was a very hot day. And this voice came, the voice that just came rising like waves from the ocean. I have a dream this day, and it was so enthralling. I jumped up and ran to my telephone and called New York and said, "You got to get this."
I have a dream that one day on the red hills of Georgia, sons of former slaves and the sons of former slave owners will they be able to sit down together at the table of brotherhood. I have a dream.
I also remember seeing Martin Luther King, and I remember his speeches and the marches, and more so than what I got when I watched Martin, because I was Martin Luther King, I was such a young kid, but what I do remember is the impact that his image and his words on television had on my family. That there was so much electricity in my house whenever he was mentioned on television.
You know, the strange thing about human nature is that there were so many Americans, black and white, that resented Dr. King, and they didn't want him to come to Washington, and they boycotted the affair, and they called him a communist. Thank God for time, because now no one's heard of these people. Now he's a martyr. But it's shameful that you have to die to be respected sometimes. But even though the federal government generally resisted that march, it, more than anything, is responsible for the creation of the Civil Rights Act, the Voting Rights Act. It struck the conscience of the Congress. They knew that this group that had marched to listen to Dr. King didn't represent Harlem or Bed-Stuy or Chicago, but represented America. And America is the better for it. We got such a long way to go, but I think that was the first giant step since the abolition of slavery.